The full dogfight battle is a few days or a few weeks out, but in the meantime, I'm here to help you AT&T customers that are struggling with a decision between the Samsung Galaxy S4 Active and the Samsung Galaxy S4. I'm Aaron Baker from PhoneDog.com, and this isn't quite a dogfight battle, but it's a versus battle between these two. We'll figure out which ones have the better features for you and analyze the pros and cons of the Active versus the iconic Samsung Galaxy S4. But before we do that, special thanks to our partners at Best Buy Mobile for giving us devices like these for use in our One Paw Bandit giveaway game. When you go into Best Buy Mobile to get either of these, you'll walk out working. They'll get your email, your web, your contact set up, so regardless of which one you get, you walk out working when you leave the store. Which one's best for you? Is it the one with IP67 certification or the one with the better camera? Let's find out in this versus battle. I'll have a full dogfight battle in the coming days or coming weeks between these two devices, but I wanted to get a versus battle on the table just to show you some of the pros and cons of these two devices, both of which right now are available in the United States on AT&T. It's the Samsung Galaxy S4 Active, available as of late last week, and the Samsung Galaxy S4, available at least on AT&T in black, white, and now red. It's a tough battle for a lot of people, particularly if you're on AT&T, because the Galaxy S4 brand is no longer one device, it's multiple devices, and even within the Galaxy S4 itself, the iconic flagship device, there are a bunch of different variants of it. So you've got the carrier version of the Galaxy S4, you've got the developer edition that's on Verizon, you've got the Google Experience editions, which you can buy through Google starting tomorrow, the 26th, and then within the Galaxy S4 marketing arm, you've got the branding arm, I should say, you've got the Active, the Zoom, the Mini, a bunch of different options to choose from. Even if they're not available in your respective country, you got a lot of choices on the table. But I think for AT&T customers, and just for the fact that these are very similarly spec'd across the board, it's an important versus battle to do. So let's talk about the pros and cons first, but let's talk about some of the similarities between these two devices. These are probably the two closest devices when it comes to the Galaxy S4 family of units. They both have a 1.9 gigahertz quad-core Snapdragon 600 CPU. They're both packing 2 gigabytes of RAM. They both have a 2,600 milliamp hour battery. They both have 4G LTE connectivity on AT&T. Where it differs, a couple of minor places on the display front. 5-inch 1080p HD display over here. It is not a Super AMOLED display. This one is a 5-inch 1080p HD display, but it's a Super AMOLED one, and you can see the color differences just looking right here at the camera. You'll notice that the non-AMOLED display, a little bit clearer to me in terms of look and feel, a little bit more authentic in terms of color. This is very rich and looks fantastic, but you can take a look here even at this and see, let me see if I can get these weather widgets lined up where they look the same here. Cloudy and cloudy, or partly sunny over here, apparently. Getting two different weather reports, but you can see the cloud differences here. A little bit more of a yellowish tint on the Galaxy S4 Super AMOLED display than you get over here on the Galaxy S4 Active. It's personal preference for me from a display standpoint. I prefer the look and feel of the Galaxy S4 Active. I think the colors are a little bit more authentic, and these look beautiful, but in a lot of different places here included, you see kind of a yellowish tint. You see this also when you're in the menu, and I'll go here so you can take a look. Take a look as I scroll down, and you can see, hopefully on camera at least, input and control. As I scroll, you can see that that color kind of changes as you scroll up and down on the Galaxy S4 thanks to the Super AMOLED display. So that's a difference, but one of the biggest differences and a pro to the Galaxy S4 leads us right in talking about this, the camera. You've got an 8 megapixel camera on the Galaxy S4 Active, a 13 megapixel camera on the Galaxy S4, and we'll take a look here and see some of the differences. Now you may be thinking, yeah, I can get away with an 8 megapixel camera on the Galaxy S4 Active. I don't really need 13 megapixels. Well, that may be true, but you do miss out on some features, including dual shot. Now, this is a popular feature. I myself enjoy it. I used it on vacation. And you can see here I can take advantage of the front and rear facing camera simultaneously. And I've got the option to move this around and make it a little bit bigger, a little bit smaller, and customize the window that my image is in. I think that's a cool feature. You do not get that over here. Now the trade-off is you get a little bit more available storage space on the Galaxy S4 Active, which is a pro for this particular unit. Just giving you a comparison here between the two, you get about 9.62 gigabytes of available storage space out of the box over here on the Galaxy S4. On the Galaxy S4 Active, you get about 10.3 gigabytes. So we'll take a look here in storage, and I have like 1 or 2 applications on both of these devices, but you can see here 9.62 is what you get on the Galaxy S4. I do do know that one for a fact because I chronicled it out of the box. Over here, about 10.3, and I made the mistake of not writing down the exact number, but roughly 10.3 gigabytes. Going on with the pros here on the Galaxy S4 Active, this does have IP67 certification, so it's water resistant to an extent. It can withstand certain things like dust and more. So if you have an active lifestyle, this could be a unit for you. And also keeping in mind, a lot of people like the design of the Galaxy S4 Active. It's personal preference, and obviously color choices are up to you. This comes in gray and blue, but a lot of people like this kind of industrial look and feel. And even though it's still made of plastic, it just looks a little bit more durable than the Galaxy S4. So it's going to be a trade-off for a lot of people. This one kind of has that kind of brick and mortar or industrial look to it with the screw looks up here, and then of course the back plate, and then the chrome sides here that are a little bit thicker in look and feel, and the physical buttons down here at the bottom in place of the one physical and two capacitive buttons on the Galaxy S4. That's obviously very much a personal preference, but I'm hearing that from a lot of people on Facebook and Twitter that they much prefer the design of the S4 Active. Now that said, if you take a look here, you get a lot of plastic around the S4 Active. The bezel itself is a little bit bigger than what you see on the Galaxy S4. This one's a little bit thinner. You get less plastic up here in the top and bottom than you do over here on the Galaxy S4 Active, so play that or keep that in mind as well and play that out as you're in store. You get this one in red though. A lot of people like red, and it's available exclusively right now at AT&T. So if you like a red mode or red device, this could be a unit for you. So we'll take a look here in settings as well. A couple of minor differences. You'll notice because this is an AT&T exclusive, at least right now, you'll see driving mode and torchlight, both of these out of the box. Now driving mode here, I can turn it on through the settings, and when turned on, I can do things like have my messages read out loud to me, see my new emails, hear my voicemails, hear my alarms and schedules without looking down at the display. I like that that's there out of the box. You do not get that over here out of the box on the Galaxy S4. What you get over here as well is torchlight, which when turned on, we got it turned on, I can turn the unit off, and all I have to do is press and hold the volume up button, and it activates the flash, and I should be able to turn it off as well. You have to turn the phone on if I remember right. That's right, when I turn it on, it goes off. So I can turn that on if I need to access it when I'm going out and about, or perhaps when I'm unlocking my front door and can't see the hole for the light, or for the key rather. That's a nice feature to have as well. Limited availability on the Galaxy S4 Active also may make it cooler. You know, you see a lot of people with Galaxy S4s, and if you're like me, perhaps you're that person that likes to have the smartphone that nobody else has, we've got a better chance of doing that with the Galaxy S4 Active. So just playing all these pros and cons and putting them into consideration for you here. This one's obviously going to be less distributed, at least in the US. You can get it unlocked, or you can get it from AT&T, or perhaps if other carriers ever carry it in the future, that might be an option. But right now, this one's available on multiple carriers in the States, including the big four. This one's just available on AT&T. So in terms of a kind of an exclusivity look and feel to it, this may be your unit. Then there are the minor things. There aren't any earbuds out of the box in the Samsung Galaxy S4 Active. You do get a pretty nice pair with the Galaxy S4, which I would keep in mind if you're looking to buy maybe a $20 or $30 pair, or you're that person that buys the $8 pair of earbuds at the airport when you're traveling. You do get them out of the box here, so that does save some cash up front. Also want to point out Android here. Now these are both running Android 4.2.2 Jelly Bean with TouchWiz, so overall look and feel is almost identical on both of these devices. They look and feel very similar across the board, but the thing I want to point out is this: Android updates. This is the Samsung Galaxy S4. Obviously this is the iconic, the flagship device all across the board. This is available on the most number of carriers. This is available, most number of people have this device right now. It's not exclusive by any stretch of the imagination. It's the global device. It's the global flagship, if you will. So when Key Lime Pie comes out and future versions of Android, this is not an exact science by any stretch of the imagination, but my guess is this is going to get it first because the most number of customers are affected by Android, whatever, 5 or Android 4.3, whatever the case may be. This is most likely going to get it first. So if you're a sucker for Android updates, you really like that latest version of Android running on your device, and you don't want to hack, root, or mod, you probably stand a better chance of getting it first with the Galaxy S4 than you do with the Galaxy S4 Active. This is a little bit of a niche device. Keeping in mind, though, that it is a niche device, it might be a good device to trial Android 4.3 on. So they may take an alternate marketing route with that. You never know. But that said, my guess is because of the number of people that are using the Galaxy S4 worldwide, this is probably going to get the Android 4.3 or the Android 5 love before anything else. Keep it locked on PhoneDog.com for the dogfight and more between the Samsung Galaxy S4 Active and the Samsung Galaxy S4. I'm on Twitter at PhoneDog_Aaron. I'm on Facebook at Facebook.com/HiAaronBaker. And I'd love to hear from you as to which one you're going to go with. Maybe you love the design of the S4 Active and that IP67 certification. It just looks good to you. Maybe you like the S4 because of the camera features and because of the fact that it's probably going to get Android 4.3 or 5 before the Galaxy S4 Active. Let me know on Twitter at PhoneDog_Aaron. Thanks for watching. More to come on both of these devices, but I hope I helped make your decision a little bit easier. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.